Hello, and welcome to English in Fluency. My name is Alex, and I am so happy you have chosen to be here with me today. This is the place where you can improve your English listening skills, build your vocabulary, and learn new, useful ideas, all at the same time. We believe that learning a language should also help you improve your life. So, if you are someone who wants to practice English and also learn new ways to think and live, you are in the perfect place. Thank you for joining me. Today, we are going to talk about something that feels rare in our modern, noisy world. It is not loud, it is not fast, it is not exciting, but it is one of the most powerful skills you can learn. The topic for today is the quiet power of deep work. You might be asking yourself, what is deep work? That sounds serious or difficult? Please do not worry. We are going to explore this idea together, step by step. I will explain everything using simple, easy-to-understand words. I will give you many examples so you can see exactly what I mean. Why are we talking about this specific topic today? Why is deep work so important for you, for me, and for everyone living in this busy digital age? The answer is all around us. Think about your day. How often do you try to do one thing, but your phone starts buzzing? How often do you sit down to study, but you find yourself checking social media just 5 minutes later? Many of us feel busy all the time. We jump from one task to another, from one message to another, from one video to another. Our lives are full of noise and constant interruptions. Because of this, it is becoming very hard to just sit quietly and give 100% of our attention to one single important task. But here is the secret. When we can do that, when we give something our full, undivided focus, we can achieve amazing things. We can learn new skills much faster. We can produce work that is much better. And, surprisingly, we can feel more relaxed and satisfied at the end of the day. This is the quiet power of deep work. Learning how to do deep work can make you a better student, a more effective worker, a more creative artist, or even a more focused parent. And yes, it can absolutely make you a better English learner. If you truly want to learn English, not just memorize a few words, but understand it deeply and speak it confidently, then you need to understand the idea of deep work. That is why this episode is going to be so useful for you. In the next hour or so, we will dive deep into this topic. We will first understand what deep work really means. Then, we will look at its opposite, something called shallow work, which is where most of us spend our time. We will talk about why deep work is so incredibly powerful and why it can feel so difficult to do in our modern world. But I will not leave you with just the problem. The most important part is that we will learn simple, practical steps that you can start using today, right after this episode, to bring more deep work into your life. Are you ready to discover this quiet skill that can change how you learn and how you live? Let's begin this journey together. So, let's start with the most important question. What exactly is deep work? You may have heard this phrase before, or it might be completely new to you. Either way, it is a very simple idea. Deep work is the ability to focus without any distractions on a task that is difficult and requires your full brain power. When you are in a state of deep work, you are not checking your phone. You are not looking at your email. You are not talking to people. You are not thinking about your grocery list or what happened yesterday. You are completely, 100% focused on the single task in front of you. Your mind is like a bright, powerful laser beam pointing at one spot. It is in this state of focused attention that you learn difficult things quickly and you produce your best, highest quality work. Let me give you a very clear example. Imagine you are a student and you need to write an important essay for your class. If you sit down at your desk, turn off your phone, and put it in another room, close all the other tabs on your computer, and just focus on researching and writing that essay for 90 minutes without stopping. That is deep work. During that time, your brain is making new connections. You are thinking deeply about the topic. Your ideas are clear. The words start to flow. Now, let's compare this to the opposite. The opposite of deep work is called shallow work. Shallow work describes all the small, easy tasks that do not require much brain power. These are tasks that you can often do while you are distracted. For example, answering emails as soon as they arrive, checking your social media feed, scrolling through news headlines, texting your friends, or attending a meeting where you are not really paying attention. Our modern world is designed for shallow work. It is full of pings, notifications, alerts, and messages that constantly pull at our attention. It is very easy to spend an entire day being busy with shallow work and feel completely exhausted. But when you look back, you realize you did not make any real progress on your most important goals. Let's think about that student writing the essay again. What if, while writing, she also has her email open? Her phone is on the desk buzzing with messages, and she is listening to a podcast. She writes one sentence, then checks a text. She reads one paragraph, then scrolls Instagram for 5 minutes. She is working for 3 hours, but her brain is switching tasks every few minutes. This is shallow work. At the end of the 3 hours, the essay is not finished, and the quality is not very good. She feels tired and stressed. She was busy, but she was not productive. Deep work is different. It respects the fact that our brains work best when they focus on one thing. Think of your attention as a precious, limited resource. Every time you switch tasks, you use up some of it. Deep work is about protecting that attention and using it for what truly matters. Think about a musician learning a very difficult piece of music. They must sit alone in a quiet room and play the same difficult part over and over again, focusing intensely on every single note. That is deep work. Think about a computer programmer writing a complex piece of code. They must be in a state of deep concentration to see how all the parts fit together. If they are interrupted, they can lose their place, and it might take them 20 minutes just to get back to that same level of focus. This idea is true for learning English too. If you want to practice your listening, you could listen to this podcast while you are also cooking dinner, answering messages, and cleaning your house. That is shallow learning. You might hear some words, but your brain is not really learning the patterns. But what if you try deep learning? What if you sit down for just 30 minutes, put on your headphones, close your eyes, and only listen to this podcast? What if you pause after I say a sentence and try to repeat it out loud, trying to match my pronunciation? What if you write down 5 new words you hear and then try to make your own sentences with them? That 30 minutes of deep, focused learning will be more powerful than 3 hours of shallow, distracted listening. Deep work is not about working more hours. It is about getting more value from the hours you work. It is about training your brain to do hard things, and this makes your brain stronger. just like lifting weights makes your muscles stronger. Shallow work is easy, but it keeps your brain weak. Deep work is hard, but it makes you smarter, more skilled, and more successful. In the next part, we will talk more about the amazing benefits of this powerful skill. Now that we have a clear idea of what deep work is and how it is different from shallow work, let's talk about why it is so powerful. You might be thinking, "Okay, Alex, I understand. Deep work means focusing. But why is it such a big deal? Why is this one skill so important?" The answer is that in our modern economy and in our personal lives, the ability to focus deeply is becoming a superpower. There are a few key reasons for this. The first and most obvious benefit of deep work is that you learn difficult things much, much faster. When you give your brain 100% of your attention to focus on a single new skill or piece of information, your brain builds stronger connections. Imagine you are trying to build a new path in a forest. If you walk down the same path once or twice, but you are distracted and looking around, you will only create a very light trail. It is easy to get lost. This is shallow learning. But if you walk down that same path with intention, focusing on every step, clearing away the branches, and you do this every day, you will build a clear, strong, and permanent path. That is deep work. Your brain is building a strong neural pathway. This is why you can learn a new language, a musical instrument, or a complex scientific idea much faster when you use deep work. Your brain is not wasting energy by switching tasks. All its power is going into building that new skill. The second major benefit of deep work is that you produce work of much higher quality. Your best work, your most creative ideas, your most thoughtful writing, it never happens in 5-minute gaps between checking your email and scrolling social media. True quality requires deep, uninterrupted thought. Think about a great writer working on a novel. They need hours of quiet focus to live inside the world of their story, to understand their characters, and to find the perfect words. Think about a scientist trying to solve a complex problem. They need to focus deeply to see the patterns that everyone else missed. When you are in a state of deep work, you can follow a single thought for a long time. This leads to breakthroughs. It leads to creative solutions. It leads to work that is unique and valuable. Shallow work, only produces average results. It produces the same emails, the same simple reports, the same ideas as everyone else. Deep work is how you create something that truly stands out. Here is a third benefit that many people do not expect. Practicing deep work actually leads to less stress and more happiness. This might sound strange. How can doing something difficult make you less stressed? Think about it this way. What causes stress at the end of your day? It is often the feeling that you were busy all day, but you did not finish the one thing that was really important. It is the stress of having 5 half-finished projects. It is the stress of knowing you have a big exam, but you wasted the whole day on your phone. This feeling is heavy. But imagine a different kind of day. Imagine you set aside 90 minutes in the morning for deep work on your most important project. You turn off all distractions and you focus. After 90 minutes, you have made real progress. The rest of your day might still be busy with shallow work, with emails and meetings. But you feel calm. You feel good. You know that you did the important work first. You feel a sense of control over your day. This feeling is called flow. You might have experienced it before. It is that feeling when you are so focused on an activity that time seems to disappear. You are not worried about the past or the future. You are just completely present in the moment. This state of flow is one of the most enjoyable and satisfying experiences a human can have. And deep work is the doorway to this state of flow. Scrolling on your phone does not create flow. Answering emails does not create flow. Deep, focused, challenging work creates flow. So, deep work doesn't just make you more productive. It actually makes your work life more meaningful and enjoyable. You learn faster, you create better things, and you feel less stressed and more satisfied. In a world where everyone is becoming more distracted, the person who can cultivate the skill of deep work has a huge advantage. They will learn faster, achieve their goals, and feel better doing it. That is the quiet power we are talking about. So, if deep work is this amazing superpower, if it helps us learn faster, produce better work, and feel happier and less stressed, then we must ask an important question. Why is it so difficult? Why don't more people do it? If this is the clear path to success and satisfaction, why are we all still checking our phones every 3 minutes? The answer is not that we are lazy or weak. The answer is that we are living in a world that is actively designed to destroy our ability to focus. There are powerful forces all around us every single day that pull us away from deep work and push us toward easy, distracting, shallow work. Let's start with the most obvious one: our technology. Our smartphones, our tablets, our computers, and the apps on them are not neutral tools. They are not just sitting there waiting for us to use them. Many of them are designed by very smart engineers with one goal: to capture as much of your attention as possible. Social media apps, news apps, and games are built to be addictive. They use something called intermittent rewards. This is the same technique used in slot machines at a casino. When you pull down to refresh your social media feed, you do not know what you will see. Maybe it is nothing interesting. Maybe it is a comment from a friend. Maybe it is an exciting video. This maybe is what makes it so addictive. Your brain gets a tiny hit of a chemical called dopamine, which feels good every time you see something new. Your brain starts to crave this quick, easy reward. Now, compare this to deep work. Let's say you are trying to learn a difficult chapter in a textbook. It is hard, it is slow, there are no bright colors, no exciting sounds, no likes from friends. Your brain does not get that quick, easy dopamine hit, so your brain starts to protest. It says, "This is boring. This is hard. Let's go check the phone." The phone is easy and fun. We have trained our brains to want constant, easy entertainment. We have forgotten how to be bored. The moment we feel even a little bit of boredom, we reach for our phones to escape it. But deep work requires you to push through that feeling of boredom. Deep work requires you to sit with a difficult problem and stay focused. Our technology is training our brains to be bad at deep work. Another big challenge is our modern work culture. In many offices, and even in schools, being busy is seen as a good thing. We are expected to answer emails immediately. If you do not reply to a message within 10 minutes, people think you are not working. Many offices are open plan, meaning everyone works in one big, noisy room. This makes it almost impossible to find a quiet place to focus. We are in constant meetings. We are always connected. This culture values being available more than it values producing high-quality results. So, even if you want to do deep work, your boss or your colleagues might interrupt you. It is very hard to protect your time and attention when the entire environment is built for distraction. This leads to another big problem: the myth of multitasking. Many people believe they are good at multitasking. They think they can write a report, listen to a meeting, and answer text messages all at the same time. But scientists who study the brain have proven that this is not true. The human brain cannot focus on two complex tasks at the same time. It just cannot. What we call multitasking is actually task switching. Your brain is just switching back and forth very, very quickly. Imagine you are in the kitchen trying to cook a complicated meal. You are chopping vegetables. Then someone asks you to quickly solve a math problem. You stop chopping. You think about the math. You give the answer. And then you go back to chopping. When you go back to chopping, your brain needs a moment to remember. Okay, where was I? What was the next step? This is exactly what happens when you are writing an important email and you quickly check a text message. Your brain switches to the text, and when you switch back to the email, a part of your brain is still thinking about the text. This is called attention residue. It means your brain is not fully back on the email. It is like a computer running too many programs at once. It becomes slow, it makes mistakes, and it crashes. Every time you switch tasks, you pay a mental price. You lose focus, you use energy, and your work becomes slower and worse. So, deep work is difficult today because our technology is addictive, our work culture values busyness, and we believe in the myth of multitasking. We are fighting an uphill battle. But the good news is, it is a battle we can win. We just need the right strategies. And that is what we are going to talk about next. So, now we understand the challenge. We know what deep work is, we know it is a superpower, but we also know that our world is full of distractions that make it very hard. This is the most important part of our conversation today. How do we actually do it? How can a normal person, like you or me, who is busy with school or work or family, start to practice deep work? The good news is that you do not need to quit your job, delete all your apps, and move to a quiet cabin in the mountains. Deep work is a skill, and like any skill, you can learn it. You can start small and get better over time. I am going to give you some simple, practical steps you can start using today. The very first step, and perhaps the most important, is to defeat your biggest distraction. You must make your phone less powerful. When it is time to do deep work, your phone cannot be your companion. It cannot be on the desk next to you, even if it is on silent. Just seeing your phone can be a distraction. Your brain knows it is there, and a part of your mind is waiting for it to light up. The best solution is to put your phone in a completely different room. If you cannot do that, put it in a drawer or in your bag where you cannot see it. Turn off all notifications. You do not need an alert every time someone likes your photo or sends you an email. You are in control, not your phone. This one step, creating a truly distraction-free bubble, will make a huge difference. The second step is to find a quiet place. Our brains are very sensitive to interruptions. A loud noise or someone walking past can break your focus. You need to find a space where you can be alone and uninterrupted. This might be your bedroom with the door closed. It could be a quiet corner of a library. It could even be your kitchen table early in the morning before anyone else wakes up. If you live in a noisy place, good headphones can be your best friend. You do not even need to play music. Sometimes, just wearing headphones is a powerful signal to your brain and to other people that you are in focus mode. You are telling your brain, okay, it is time to do deep work now. The third step is to work in short, focused sessions. Many people think deep work means working for 5 hours without stopping. This is not realistic, especially when you are just starting. Your ability to focus is like a muscle. If you have not used it in a while, it is weak. You need to train it slowly. A great way to start is with something called the Pomodoro technique, but we can just call it the focus timer method. It is very simple. You set a timer for just 25 minutes. During those 25 minutes, you work on one task and one task only. You promise yourself, no phone, no email, no getting up for a snack. You just focus. When the timer rings, you must take a 5-minute break. This break is very important. And this leads to the fourth step. Take real breaks. What you do on your break is just as important as what you do during your focus time. Do not use your 5-minute break to check social media or read the news. That is not a real break for your brain. It is just another form of distraction. A good break is one that rests your mind. Get up, stretch your body. Look out the window. Get a glass of water. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. This kind of break allows your brain to relax and get ready for the next focus session. After your 5-minute break, you set the timer for another 25 minutes. By doing this, you can get 2 or 3 hours of high-quality deep work done in small, manageable pieces. The fifth step is to be extremely clear about your goal. You cannot do deep work if you do not know what you are working on. Do not just sit down and say, I am going to study. That is too big and unclear. Your brain does not know what to focus on. Be specific. Your goal should be tiny. For example, I will read 10 pages of this book and take notes. Or, I will write 200 words of my essay. Or, for your English practice, I will listen to one 5-minute audio clip and write down every new word I hear. When your goal is small and clear, your brain can lock onto it like a target. And when you finish that small goal, you feel a great sense of accomplishment, which gives you the motivation to do it again. Finally, a very powerful tip is to create a ritual. A ritual is a small set of actions you do every single time before you start your deep work. It is like a warm-up for your brain. Your ritual could be very simple. Maybe you always clean your desk. Then you make a cup of tea. You sit down, open your notebook, and take 3 deep breaths. And then you start your timer. Whatever your ritual is, if you do it consistently, it sends a powerful signal to your brain. It says, the ritual is done. It is time to focus now. This helps you get into that state of deep work much faster. So, to review, put your phone away, find a quiet spot, use a timer for short sessions, take real breaks, set tiny goals, and create a ritual. These simple steps can help anyone, including you, build the superpower of deep work. Now that we understand what deep work is, why it is so powerful, why it is so hard, and the practical steps to start, let's look at some real-life examples. Sometimes, hearing a story about someone else can help us see how we can apply these ideas in our own lives. You do not need to be a famous scientist or a best-selling author to use deep work. It is for everyone. Let's imagine 3 different people: a student, an office worker, and an English learner. First, let's think about a student named Emily. Emily is in university, and she has a big history exam in 2 weeks. She feels very stressed. She has so much to read. She sits in her room with her books, but her phone is right next to her. A friend sends her a funny video. She watches it. Then she scrolls on social media for just 1 minute, which turns into 20 minutes. She tries to read her book, but she keeps thinking about the messages. After 3 hours of studying, she has only read 5 pages, and she does not remember any of it. She feels terrible, tired, and even more stressed. Then, she decides to try deep work. The next day, she tells her friends she will be offline for a while. She leaves her phone in the kitchen and goes to the university library. She finds a quiet desk. She sets a timer on her watch for 45 minutes. Her goal is very specific. Read 1 chapter and write a 1-paragraph summary. For the first 10 minutes, it is very hard. Her mind wants to wander. She feels bored. She has the urge to check her phone, but she gently brings her focus back to the book. Then, something happens. She starts to get interested in the chapter. The 45 minutes fly by. When the timer rings, she has finished the chapter and written the summary. She feels amazing. She takes a 10-minute break, walks around, and then does it again. In just 2 deep work sessions, she got more done than she did in 3 hours the day before. She continues this every day, and when she takes the exam, she feels calm and confident. Next, let's think about an office worker named Michael. Michael is an accountant, and it is a very busy time of year. He has to prepare complex financial reports, but his office is so distracting. His email is constantly flooding with new messages. His colleagues walk over to his desk to ask him small questions. He is in meetings all afternoon. He feels like he is just putting out fires all day. He does his real work, the difficult reports, at night, at home, when he is already exhausted. He is unhappy, and his work is suffering. He decides to make a change. He talks to his boss and his team. He says, "I am going to try something new to improve my work. Every morning from 9 a.m. to 10:30 a.m., I will be doing deep work on the main reports. I will have my headphones on and my email closed. Please do not interrupt me unless it is a true emergency." The first few days are strange. People forget and try to talk to him. He feels guilty for not answering emails right away. But he sticks to his plan. And in that 90-minute block of pure focus, he makes incredible progress. He finds mistakes he would have missed before. His reports are more accurate. He finishes his most important task before lunch. The rest of his day is still busy with emails and meetings, but he does not feel stressed, because he knows the important work is already done. He starts leaving work on time and feels in control of his job for the first time in years. Finally, let's think about someone just like you, an English learner named Leo. Leo has been learning English for a year. He uses language apps, watches movies, and listens to podcasts, but he feels stuck. He feels like he is not making real progress, especially with his speaking. He is nervous to talk. His practice is very shallow. He does 5 minutes on an app while waiting for the bus. He listens to a podcast while driving. He is not giving it his full attention. He decides to try deep work for his English. He sets a new goal: 30 minutes of deep English practice every single morning. This is his new ritual. He wakes up, makes his coffee, and sits at his desk. He puts his phone in another room. For 30 minutes, he does one focused activity. On Mondays, he practices shadowing. He listens to a 5-minute audio clip from a native speaker, and then he spends 25 minutes pausing, repeating, and trying to copy the exact sound and rhythm. He records his own voice and compares it. It is hard and sometimes embarrassing, but he is deeply focused. On Tuesdays, he does deep writing. He writes one full paragraph in English about his day, and he looks up every word he is not sure about. He is not distracted. He is just focused on building correct sentences. After just 1 month of this 30-minute daily deep work, Leo notices a huge change. He starts to think in English. When he has a conversation, the words come out more naturally. He is more confident. That 30 minutes of deep, focused work was more powerful than 10 hours of distracted, shallow practice. These stories show us that deep work is not magic. It is a simple, practical tool that anyone can use to learn better, work smarter, and achieve their goals. We have now come to the end of our journey into the quiet power of deep work. Let's take a moment to pause and review the most important ideas we have learned together. We started by defining deep work. We learned that it is the ability to focus completely on one difficult task without any distractions. It is in this state of deep focus that we learn fast and create our best work. We contrasted this with its opposite, shallow work. Shallow work is all the easy, distracting tasks that make us feel busy but do not help us make real progress, like check an email, scrolling social media, or multitasking. Our world today is full of shallow work. Then, we explored why deep work is such a superpower. We found that it helps you learn difficult things much faster because your brain is building strong, focused connections. It helps you produce higher quality work, things that are more creative and valuable, because you can follow a single thought for a long time. And surprisingly, we learned that deep work makes you feel better. It reduces stress because you are finishing your important tasks, and it leads to a deep sense of satisfaction and flow, which is one of the best feelings we can experience. Of course, we also had to be honest about why this is so difficult. We learned that our technology, like smartphones and social media apps, is often designed to be addictive and to break our focus. We learned that our work and school cultures often value being busy and available more than being focused. And we learned that multitasking is a myth. It is really just task switching, which makes us tired, slow, and less effective. But we did not stop there. We learned simple, practical steps that anyone can use to start practicing deep work. You can start by making your phone invisible, putting it in another room. You can find a quiet place, using headphones if you need to. You can work in short, focused sessions using a timer, like 25 minutes of work followed by a 5-minute real break. You must set very small, clear goals so your brain knows exactly what to do. And you can create a simple ritual, like making tea or taking a deep breath, to tell your brain it is time to focus. Finally, we heard stories about Emily, Michael, and Leo, showing how a student, a worker, and an English learner can use these exact steps to reduce stress, improve their work, and learn English more effectively. So, as we finish, I want to talk directly to you. You chose to listen to this entire episode. You gave it your time and your attention. Maybe you even practiced some deep listening. That is a wonderful first step. I want you to know that you can do this. You can take back control of your attention. You do not have to live in a state of constant distraction, feeling busy but never productive. You can choose to build this skill. It will not be easy at first. Your brain will fight you. You will feel the urge to check your phone. You will feel bored. This is normal. The secret is to just start. Start small. Here is my challenge to you. Tomorrow, just try one 25-minute deep work session. Just one. Pick one important task. Maybe it is your English practice. Maybe it is a difficult homework assignment. Maybe it is just reading a book. Set a timer for 25 minutes. Put your phone in another room. Close all the tabs on your computer. And just begin. When the 25 minutes are over, I want you to notice how you feel. You might be surprised. You might feel calm. You might feel proud. You might feel that quiet power we have been talking about. Even one session a day will begin to rewire your brain. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today at English in Fluency. My name is Alex, and it has been a pleasure to be your host. I truly hope this episode was helpful, not just for your English listening practice, but for your life. We believe that learning a language is a journey of growth, and these are the ideas that can help you along the way. If you found this episode useful, please consider subscribing to English in Fluency so you do not miss our next one. And if you know someone else who feels stressed, distracted, or busy, please share this episode with them. We can all help each other learn to focus a little more. I look forward to speaking with you again in our next episode. Until then, stay curious, stay focused, and keep practicing. Goodbye for now.